We are currently being recorded.
Cool. Let me flip on the new scene.
Seconds.
Yep. And we are going to in game.
I am at 15
Unpause
seconds.
in 3, 2, 1, go. And welcome into game. Oh, I need to flip our mics back on just a sec. Welcome everyone into the game. I'm Wayman once again here with Leper, as we are loading into game 1 of this series. Both teams going for a standard defensive 5-point opening here. Not too much else going on. So, Leper, why don't you give us your thoughts on these drafts since you weren't here for draft?
The Dusk draft is the most basic IBS draft you can possibly imagine.
Are we considering Tristana mid part of basic
it is
IBS?
a standard mid pick in IBS. There have been many Tristana mid players over time in the IBS league. Most famously, old sad boy, Mr. Rodney himself. But this is not a new pick or a non-standard pick in IBS. As far as like quote-unquote off-meta picks go, I wouldn't even argue that this is off-meta. It falls into the same kind of category as Lucian did. And
it's the Tristana has been played in LCS a lot the last few weeks, so right. It's definitely very meta right now.
Very much a meta pick. I really like the Wombo combo draft of RPM.
Rev? Yes, agreed. I like
this.
I like the easy execution of the Malphite Fiddlesticks. My only question is, again, Azir just a very difficult champ to pilot. I think Lurka's up to it. He plays a lot of these kind of difficult control mages. Ornn and Malphite will just kind of lightly touch each other up here. More of a gentle caress than an attack. Actually, Malphite's down to about half health, so maybe not so gentle. Ornn doesn't fool around the first few levels. Insert copy pasta.
A lot of this falls on Lurka and the Azir, because the rest of the Wombo synergizes really well. One bad Shuri in the shuffle will ruin the Wombo.
Yes. I think, meanwhile, I think TD's comp really rests a lot on this Vesuvius on the Mordekaiser, because he is the only real AP on this team. So if the Mordekaiser gets behind, Mordekaiser's already a pick that's very either snowbally or you're really struggling. But, and I think if he ends up in that struggling territory, then Rev could just armor stack.
But as far as like a pick to have all AD in, I really don't think that the composition that RPM is playing is going to really matter. It's not going to matter.
They do have a Malphite, but in theory, the Malphite's not the one you want to be hitting. So
right. And Malphite isn't going to, like, it's not like it's a, I don't know, a Nasus or something that's going to carry the game. That's just not a good spot to be in right now if you're Spence Matt.
Yeah, he is under his towers, and Ornn's not really a diver.
Before the game. This is the standard Pandorum wave state. You are pushed in, right?
Oh, Nautilus gets a hook onto Denobi, but he will pop the heal, gets a root onto Jinx. Nautilus has to run, takes a lot of damage. Rex being the player piloting Nautilus.
I didn't
Prince Corwin, I believe that's Spice. These teams are both at 2 and 3, I think.
Yes. Both teams need to win this game in order to kind of secure a potential of a 5th place for playoffs.
Due to Glacial winning a lot of games recently, and SNC taking some losses, as Tristana jumps onto Fiddlesticks, Wales will run away, or will he? He has to flash to get out. That's not the ideal result if you're a Wales. Yeah, that's Spice. I was going to say, yeah, right, we answered that question. So now, Matt, farming under tower. I need to flip those names next time we get a non-action moment.
This is the TD plan right there, right? The fact of the matter is they come online earlier, and they can move.
Yeah. Is this the TD team that's coached by Super Square?
No,
or is that
is
different?
Syndicate.
Because I was going to say, this looks exactly like a Super Square game on the Mordekaiser, where they play with heavy prio, and then use the prio to let the Mordekaiser power farm and take scuttles.
This is the standard TD game plan. This is the kind of game plan that TD has been using in just about every team the entirety time they're in IBS. It works. It is a proven formula. You have a strong dynamic jungle. You don't really play scaling in the jungle. You have a mid that can move around the map, and you play for priority in lanes to prevent your team from having vision of your roams. That it's a very basic, like, it sounds very basic, but it's not the easiest thing to pull off, and you have to be coordinated and understand it on how to use it.
Absolutely. Speaking of coordination, we're now approaching 5.5 minutes, no kills, and no one really even brought that close. So it seems like we're going to get a very calm scaling game. Who do you think the scaling favors here?
That's hard.
Yeah, I think it looks kind of even to me, I think.
I think, like, on paper, like, if both teams are 6 items, I think it favors RPM. But that's both teams being 6 items. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's a matter of how much resources does it take.
Yeah, and here's the same thing playing out we're talking about a minute ago.
Yeah.
TD playing for Prio, and Mordekaiser going in, taking all these early objectives.
And
you got the Scuttles, now he's going on the Dragon.
And there's no way for RPM to safely move here. You see where
Yeah.
the wave is in mid, like Lurka is shoved in, and he's holding that wave. I think, personally, I'd try to shove it since you know that your opponent is gone, but that's different. But bot lane's also shoving in, so there's no way that bot lane can reliably move over to that dragon without giving something up. So it's just very, very difficult to move as a result.
Absolutely. And TD is racking up some farm advantages as well. RPM losing minions to towers and harass. Top and bot seem to be the big differences right now. And a Jinx being ahead 17 CS at 7 minutes is really not something you want to see if you're RPM.
No, it's not. I mean, that's not to say that they're farming bad. The top lane CS difference is kind of troubling to me, because you do need that Malphite to survive a little bit, as he's your primary source of, like, meat on this team. And
especially into this AD heavy comp where you want Malphite to be the armor stacker. As King Vivi gets a big knock-up on his fence mat. King Vivi was a jungler last split. I think it split some time between jungle and top lane, but a very good player. Should be very close to ranking out. I don't think they're going to quite rank out just yet, but they're definitely a player that probably could push for gold and play in a gold league this fall, I think.
This is not great.
Whale's not level 6 yet.
No.
And Vesuvius is, though.
Spawn. The ghost is popped.
Matt has ulti. Will he spend it? He will not. That's first blood, but at least it's on the Ornn. Oh, but Denobi's going to be the second blood.
Yep.
The kills are on the Nautilus and Ornn, though. So if you're looking for hope, as Rev, that's where your hope is.
Rev has to play this call. You know, like those kills are not the most uncommon things. You know what I mean? Like, this is kind of there. And this is, again, we talked about it here. Look at where the wave is in mid. Look at where Pandorum is on the map. This is like, it's, I'm not trying to act like it's bad. That's not what I'm saying. Like, but this is the center of the team. And see, this is the issue, right? Like, Lurka shoved up, right? And now they're collapsing. This is the give and take, right? You don't know exactly, you don't have the vision, so you don't know how far that they've gone. So mid jungle can collapse.
Maybe he gets another big trade onto Matt, and Matt could be in trouble again. Uses ulti to escape. So now they will not have that tool for a while. Rift Herald drops. Lurka pulled in by Vesuvius. Pops his Stream of Shuffle. But Whales here forces the flash out of Pandorum, but he's in by himself, and Vesuvius is probably not one you want to try to be one-on-oneing with. That's what Mordekaiser does, is those 1v1s. But good play by Whales to help Lurka get out there and force the flash out of Pandorum. I think if Rev's going to come back in this game, I think it is on Whales to take advantage of some of these TD lanes that are pushed up so far. If you can just try to guess where they don't have vision.
That is another thing, too, is it is much easier for RPM to move into Dusk than it is the other way around. Like, the RPM comp is not reliant on being there first to set up or control space. It is quite easy for them to like, come in because
Absolutely.
the Horn ult or the Nautilus ultimate are not going to really have an effect on Malphite ultimate, Fiddlesticks engage, Renata ult, this sort of thing. And they don't have a lot of ways to prevent those things from getting in. They have ways
Absolutely.
to engage from a long distance,
But you see there, so much of this game is going to come down to what happens when we have mythics on.
Absolutely. With the 3K gold deficits racked up already, I think TD is going to hit that point a lot sooner than Rev is. So the question to me is, when TD hits those power spikes, are they going to step on the throat and end this game early, or is Rev going to be able to stall it out until later?
That's a question.
Rev looking again onto Denobi, catches him again, and Denobi is brought down really low.
Oh man.
Chompers catch both Rev bot laners in the roots. No kills just yet, but it is a huge lead in the bot lane for J-Rend and Rex.
So much of this right now is on what happens when the Azir gets items, because Lurko's going to need to make some space for Denobi to get into this game.
Yes.
This is another thing that that TD teams historically do very well at, is shutting down other bot laners.
Absolutely. I mean, this has just been a 2v2. Mordekaiser's barely even entered the lanes.
Yep.
I think and a lot of this, the ADCs are the ones doing the CSing, so they get the spotlight, but a lot of this, I think, just comes down to Rex and how well he has zoned out the Rev bot lane with the power of that Nautilus engage.
It's playing engage into an enchanter is the way this kind of works. And Cheeky Traps synergize rather well with anybody that can do the amount of CC that Nautilus has.
Absolutely. She doesn't have as much damage early, but you don't need that much damage when the bot lane is just kind of sitting there rooted for an hour.
Dragon, you're not in the position to do that. You're not at your timing. Yeah, you don't want them to stack dragons against you with how late this game is going, but you can't really control the space. You can't fight right now. Your Fiddlesticks doesn't have the power to blow people up yet. Your Xayah doesn't have the power to blow people up yet. The most you can get is like a Renata ult. Now, the fact that if they go right this second, they have a chance, but they don't know that.
Pandorum is a little late recalling, but yeah, I don't think they saw that. And now they have that ward over the wall to catch the Fiddlesticks looking for engaged.
I think
so if he goes, it won't be here.
They're trying to force a fight more than they're trying to get the objective. I think.
Oh, but now he does get the fear and the wombo from the hostile takeover. This is huge, actually. Denobi's ultimate goes the wrong way, and Wales is going to be killed by Vesuvius, who does a whole lot of damage, but Lurker's going to go in and potentially get the kill onto Vesuvius. He does. It's a 1-for-1. But in jumps Pandorum onto Trepidine. Trepidine flashes over the wall. Spins Matt, tanking up Pandorum for a long time. In comes Lurker with the damage. Pandorum goes down. Pandorum gets the kill, but then goes down. But in comes King Vivi. Lurker forced to flash. Denobi as well. So it's going to be a 3-for-2. So TD comes out a little bit ahead, but at the same time, I think it's almost kind of a moral victory for RPM that you could still. It looked like a reasonably decent.
Like it was a beautiful fight, but I just don't think that it was worth taking.
I can agree with that.
I just you're putting you're coming out behind. Like the fact I think TD could have just taken the dragon there. I think that TD not taking the dragon off of that mistake when both junglers are dead is a mistake.
Absolutely. Especially when TD had numbers overall,
exactly.
Just junglers on the side.
They have the health and the resources on their side. I think you should have just... Dragon should have already been taken.
Yeah.
Like they're
they
going
will
to
go
take
for
it
now.
They're going to take it now, and RPM is making the right call and not contesting. But this is the result that would have happened if you hadn't rotated over.
Yeah, so now the gold lead is about 3.5k and 2 dragons. King Vivi gets a knock up onto Lurka. He could be in trouble here. Okay, he is able to dash out.
One thing about Azir is, especially as far as like a late scaling control mage, Azir is incredibly safe. This is the pre-discussed pause.
Yes, this was something we had discussed in Rev Chat. Lurka has to go fetch a package from the door, so he will be gone for about 2 minutes, but this will not be a very long pause. So again,
So
Red, you're down 3.5k. We know what we don't want them to do, and that's try to accelerate this game and fight into an SG comp that's about to get really strong with these mythics coming in. They've already got 2. What do
so
you want to do? I think actively, if you're Red.
1,000 of the gold is top lane. Ornn is 1,000 gold ahead of Malphite right now. Your other big thing is Jinx versus Xayah. Jinx
Yes.
is 1,500 gold ahead of the Xayah. Then it's
that's pretty
divvied up
terrifying.
over there. The only space, actually, there are 0 spaces right now where there is a RPM member with more gold than a TD Dusk member. The closest is mid lane, where it's about 50 gold between them in Pandorum's favor.
Worth noting that Lurka, since he's already back, does already have his mythic. That Landry. It's the
That's
first
huge.
mythic for RPM.
That's
But
huge. And
Pandorum should have his as soon as he backs. But
he has the gold for it. No,
yeah.
he doesn't have the gold for it. So I'm wondering if it's a plate situation or something. I'm not exactly sure how.
Possibly. I can't
that's
throw
what it
this
is.
to pause.
Lurka did not buy boots.
There we go. Yeah,
Whereas
whereas Pandorum has
has
those fully
GG
upgraded
boots.
boots. Good catch, good catch.
What to me, from my perspective right now, is you as RPM just like you control your space, right? You don't let them invade your jungle. You don't let them take your camps. You preserve your towers, preserve tower life as much as you can. But you need your 2 items on your Azir, or 3 items on your Azir. You need your items on your Xayah before you can really get this going, right? Like, you know that if Fiddlestick's ult is going to do damage, and I think Wales has found some great angles for ults already. It's just we're not at a point where there is the follow-up damage, both from the Fiddlesticks itself and the rest of the team to be able to execute this Wombo. This Wombo is deadly. It just
Absolutely,
isn't
especially
there yet. Whereas
with the backline access that Malphite can get onto Jinx, that gives you the ability to win a team fight at any point in the game.
Right.
Like if you're an LCS watcher and you saw the FlyQuest 100 Thief series, even when Doublelift got huge leads on the Jinx, when FlyQuest was able to get flanks using Wukong, for example, and just jump right onto the Jinx and say, forget your front line, suddenly to protect the Jinx comp doesn't have a Jinx to protect anymore. But I think what TD is doing really well in this draft is they're not entirely reliant on that Jinx. They've got the Tristana as the backup ADC. Mordekaiser's really good in those long drawn out fights. But speaking of tanks, I think the play Rev needs to make right now is they need to get Spinsmat away from that tower before these 4 members of TD collapse on him.
Yeah. Well, if you look on the minimap, right? Look at where TD have vision right now compared to RPM. It's very easy for TD to see where RPM is, and they're very protected by those wards, right?
Yeah, I think RPM does have kind of those defensive wards you're talking about, the entrances to their bot jungle from that fight, but the vision difference is in this top side here right now. I think they're probably going for a Herald play, actually.
I believe that that's what they're going to do, but you could collapse on Spinsmat right here.
The Herald might be worth more gold. It's same amount to kill, and then you can use more powers.
It's still, you never know exactly what people are going to do. The vision, though, comes a lot from what we were talking about earlier, where TD has had prio in all 3 lanes. Vesuvius has been able to move wherever he wants. People have been able to collapse, and that hasn't been the case in for RPM. They haven't been able to really have that advantage or area. Hopefully, Lurka is back soon.
Yeah, it's taking a little longer than expected, but hopefully it shouldn't be long. I believe you get 10 minutes total pause time, so they've got 5 left.
Yep. It's not like the one time I was in finals and we had 25 minutes of pause time in the one game.
What was that was some sort of weird reason, right? Where somebody had some kind of family issue going on.
The mid laner for Rar, Neo, his mother had pulled the cord to the router in the middle of the series because she
brutal.
wanted him to eat dinner with her. So he went downstairs, scarfed down dinner, Um, we gave them an extra 5 minutes on that, but after 15 minutes, we were still like, I don't know. And then we had to pause for a little bit because we had an issue with our jungler that was like almost 8 minutes.
Oh, they're back. Lurka is back. So we're getting the player resume in now. And now we get to see the moment of truth. Are they going for the Herald or for the top laner?
Did it move for you?
It counted down to 0.
And it's
I'm thinking
0
this is
for
just
me.
spec being spec. We'll see.
I'm gonna reload.
This happens sometimes. Okay, now we are good.
Okay.
My stream is unpaused.
I will catch back up to you.
Okay. Let me know when you're back in. I can give you a timestamp to jump to.
Excellent.
So it does look like TD indeed is going for the Herald, and Spincemat has successfully gotten out alive. Rev will not contest this Herald. Wales is pathing bot side. Lurker recalling. Rev has attempted to drop a ward over the wall. This little delay is that's a bug with the spectator.
All right, I am at 14:30.
I'm at 14, 59, 15. I'm paused at exactly 15 if you want to jump to 15.
All right, once I can, I will get there.
So yeah, the TD gold lead holding steady at 3.5k. Just continually pushing those lanes, and it's hard for Rev to punish. Again, when all 3 lanes are hard pushing like that, but Rev does have a bit of a counter push
I
in
am
bot.
at 15. You ready?
All right, unpause in 3, 2, 1, go. Rev is hitting this tower bot lane. But plates are gone, so that's not going to be any plate gold onto Denobi, but at least they are damaging that tower.
The most important thing for Revolution right now is to not lose your mid tower.
I agree. I think that would open up so much of what TD wants to do with like a play around Prio. Oh, and in jumps Wales onto J-Rind. J-Rind cleanses, but he's going to go down. Excellent play
Beautiful
by
dive.
Wales. That's exactly how you play that. Ooh, he was brought really low by that tower, but he's going to get out alive. That's exactly what you need if you're Rev. That is exactly it. And now they're back to within 3k, which is something. And they're going to be able to potentially take that tower.
With the amount of gold that... No. Futures market for the Leandries. I like the Leandries, the double Leandries here. Like, I'm not... It's not the ideal situation, but I do think that the both Leandries are good here.
So what just happened actually is also very interesting. Despite all that prio that TD had been playing with this whole game, that was the first turret. Rev took the first turret of the game.
Yep.
And that's a lot of gold to help Denobi catch back up to J-Rind.
Not made the mistakes and been in a position where TD has been able to take towers. Yeah, there have been some fights. Yeah, there have been this sort of like objective control. Like TD has 2 dragons, but it has not been a situation where that. Not only that, when the TD a couple minutes ago went to get the Herald, they pulled their bot lane up for that play, leaving the Revolution bot lane down there to take that tower.
Absolutely. And that was the same deal with the, as Soken was pointing out in chat, pretty similar deal. Oh, as Pandorum jumping on to Lurka, but again, he's fine. He's Nazir. He can jump away. Where TD left their bot laner all alone, a very similar play what happened last week when Denobi and I were playing. When an opposing support left, and we just instantly dived the ADC. So I think TD does need to be careful to not leave that ADC alone there, because Rev has shown they will punish a lone ADC.
This Azir is proving out to be really competitive into that Tristana, where the Tristana is not really able to get that true 1v1 advantage. Part of what Tristana is so good at in mid lane is that Tristana is able to control everything. It's just so many matchups. If Tristana does not jump, you cannot act. Whereas with this, it seems.
Oh, and now Vesuvius is invading the Rev jungle. Denobi in a dangerous spot. Pops his ulti.
Beautiful ult.
Oh, that cancels the... Or does it?
He's in
Does it cancel?
death
Oh, he is in it. Okay. So, not beautiful enough, sadly.
Yeah.
But what I was going to say is... But Azir does have about a 20 gold lead now. Although Denobi going down will hurt Rev a lot for the near future. The Azir is very difficult to engage onto, as Wales will be forced to run away from Vesuvius, going back in.
Yep. And this is
But here goes a hostile takeover. So now Rex and Vesuvius
the
will.
kind of stuff.
Oh, but the bailout's going to save it.
Nope.
Oh, just a second too late.
And
But now Lurka's looking for Vesuvius.
This is, you can't keep doing this, guys. Like,
I think he can. I think he can.
yeah,
Pull that
but
play there.
the way that this is going about, you've lost the bot tower now. You've expended TP. You've expended 2 flashes for 1 kill. Or 2 kills.
That's true. I thought you just meant specifically the Lurka
No,
play.
no,
But,
this entire play. Like, yeah, Lurka going in there to clean up and getting himself further ahead is an okay, like, salvage of that situation, but it's a net loss, right?
That's true. Oh, and my Lurka's doing so much damage to.
Yep.
Oh, he's very, very fed in this Azir now, and suddenly, just like that, Rev may be behind as a team, but they have a win con.
A lot of this is on
because
Lurka.
again,
Can Lurka
yes.
keep things afloat until
I
Denobi and Wales are in this? Because
I think this game is a little closer than indicated because so much of the TV gold advantage is top on an Ornn,
yep.
whereas this Azir is looking like an absolute monster right now.
What's the gold difference right now? About 2,000.
As a whole, about 3K. But let's
3,000,
see, about
half of
1.5,
that-
half of that is on the Ornn.
Half of that's the Ornn.
The
It's
Jinx
just
is
there's
still a lot
timings,
ahead of
right?
the.
Like, this is something that TD does really well, and Vesuvius in particular, from my own experiences of playing with him, does really well. He very much isn't ever really overextended, right? So when he's in the jungle like that, fishing with his E and fishing for a fight, it's not like he's alone, and it's not like he's in danger. He's not doing that unless he's confident that he can win or he
Absolutely. Both teams fighting for vision control. This is kind of what we were saying earlier of trying to get that defensive vision. Come on. Okay, direct to camera, please leave me bot lane. Now Vesuvius is walking up.
Not a
but
good
he's,
chunked here is not a great move.
yeah.
Oh,
And now Rex going on to Wales. Wales doesn't have a flash. But a huge hostile takeover. The bailout's not going to save him. Rex gets the kill, but Pandorum is going to go down to this tower and Lurka again.
But
That's a 2-for-1 again.
Right,
Yeah.
but this is the kind of the issue, right? You don't have your Malphite there. You're giving up these things. Like, yeah, you're like okay in those fights. Like but it's 2-for-1 and you lose the dragon. This is the kind of things that have continually like robbed RPM over the season, right? Like these kinds of fights and these kinds of things.
Yeah, and Rex just doing a really great job this entire game, looking for those engages. He's been really strong on this Nautilus. I think Rex might be the player of the game so far.
Rex has been
he's not the one
absolutely
getting the gold,
amazing.
but I think he's been the best player on the Rift. With possible apologies to Lurka. Lurka actually has been a monster this game.
Is the thing that is keeping RPM afloat. We're on almost on 2 items here. He almost has his Shadow Flame, which is a huge spike against this team.
Yes, absolutely. That'll give him kind of a combination of the tank burn and the burst.
Yep.
And now with the lane swap is underway, Denobi's still 50 CS behind Jaren.
Pull off Azir on this level. Azir at this level in IBS has been Netus.
Absolutely. Netus, who is now playing in gold, I believe.
Yep.
And now TD is doing what you're saying. They're pulling in, pushing in, they're getting those invasions onto jungle camps.
There's nobody here.
Yeah, Denobi probably shouldn't.
Go. They're out. Stop chasing.
Okay.
Now you don't need to chase anymore, right? Like you pushed them out. They don't have the space because they're vulnerable. But like,
Pandorum looking for possible kill onto Denobi, but the bomb probably won't kill him. Oh, but the Jinx rocket will. Wells does not get a fear. Oh, but Lurk gets a double knockup. And here in comes the hostile takeover. Vesuvius doesn't get taken over. And Vesuvius gets the kill onto Wales. Lurka will do his best to do damage, but
that was
I think a 2v2.
That was a really
Yeah,
well-timed rocket.
it was.
Without that rocket, I think RPM wins that. That was they were setting up for that
Yeah.
angle. The ult from Wales was about as perfect as you can get it. It's they don't have the ability to burn through the Mordekaiser just yet.
Mm-hmm.
So that is one of those things. Once the
There's
Mordekaiser,
the Shadow Flame for Lurka.
that's big.
Mm-hmm.
That is very big, especially with
There's
this
the TP
build
from Lurka.
that Vesuvius is going.
with the
Oof.
Sork boots and the Ride
That's
Eyes.
that's one Q in auto attack. Takes about 40% of the Jinx health.
Yep.
Even the Ornn.
Yep. Lurka is just, and they
This
have
is
not
gonna
built magic resist, right?
Nope.
So the only magic resist on this is the Nautilus and the Ornn right now, but the Ornn has got Heartsteel over like Jack Show.
Mhm.
So that is like a more
so now we've
snowball,
got a-
but that's in the terms of health. It's not in the term of resists. So
Yes.
like the Leandries is going to do the same relative amount of damage here.
And so we've got a Dragon coming up in about 2 minutes. Team's already starting to fight for vision a little bit. No one really has much vision in the river itself. Rev has some decent defensive vision, but TD has some wards that I don't think Rev has cleared out just yet.
With a Jinx on this team, this fight is important. Like, a lot of these people, like, the Infernal Drink itself, like, the Infernal Soul, isn't the most amazing thing. Like, you're not doing a ton of, like, poke damage, you know what I mean? Like, it's still significant, don't get me wrong, but they still have to commit to really benefit from that.
If I can jump back in real quick, speaking of the Jinx, that Jinx has Jinx doesn't have a Kraken Slayer anymore. She has a Wormfall and Sacrifice, which is what happens when an Ornn gets to upgrade a Kraken Slayer.
Yep.
And I think that's a pretty major power spike for TD.
This next fight is going to be really key to this game.
Yeah, the Jinx has 2 items. Denobi still does not have his second. And,
but both Whales and Lurka do.
yes. And that's going to be your damage, is those Landries. I think Rev already has proven that as King Vivi, jumping at King Vivi gets knocked back into the tower. That's a potentially huge play. Oh, huge fear from Whales. In goes Lurka. In goes Whales. Whales will be killed, though. They just don't have the damage.
Mordekaiser is such a good pick here.
But now they are. Oh, Lurka gets a kill again. And now Spin Smack goes in. It's another kill for Lurka. Lurka is absolutely 1v9 in this game. My goodness. Lurka. Lurka on this is here. Lurka.
Quadra.
It's a triple. Oh.
Ace.
Lurka.
That
705 on the Azir absolutely carrying this game. Holy crap.
That's what you needed. Like, as much as, like, it was chaotic and messy, you know what I mean? I just realized the brilliance of the Mordekaiser here. Because the Mordekaiser is holding ult to immediately ult Whales when Fiddlesticks comes in.
Absolutely. And at the same time, though, I think with Lurka in the position he is, if you're Rev and you can get the Mordekaiser out of the way, kind of trade it 1-for-1 for Whales.
Yep.
If the fear goes off before Mord ults you, I think you take that if you're Rev. Because once the fear goes off, then Lurka is just hitting everyone with the Azir Spears.
Yep. Oh, this is iffy.
And this is dangerous. I don't think Rev's gonna be able to take this. They're in trouble.
I think at this point you should have stayed in for the soul, but this is okay. Like, it's not over without the loss, without soul. But we've talked in the past about resets. That is a reset-oriented fight. Without Lurka there, you can't fight.
I don't think they were attempting to fight. I think they thought they could burn it before TV gets there. But Rex misses the hook once. And now Trev Dean also misses his, so not much will happen beyond just the Renata getting chunked out. TD walking into top river, Rev actually does have some vision there. TD will take this mid tower, which we've talked about is very essential for their game plan. But Nautilus Hook won't do a whole lot.
It's a lot better. Like, right now, we're kind of like, what happens in this game once Denobi is online? That's where we are. This Baron fight, I love what TD is doing here. If I was TD, I would force a fight around Baron.
I think that this is the classic
what I would do. I
wouldn't
like. I don't like the Death Bush here. I think you can control the space and control up here with the red buff. Personally, I think you can actually, as a team, move in there rather than relying on everybody to move in. Whereas this way, like, they know that you're waiting there, so they don't have to move in. You get what I mean?
Now TD looking onto Dan again. He doesn't have his ulti, and he doesn't have flash, and he does have a Nautilus ulti on top of him. Kill goes over to King Vivi, and that's just, you just gotta be more careful now. We don't have any of your defensive tools up.
Yep.
So will TD pull the trigger on this Baron? That is the question. Rev does still have Whales and Lurka up with their ultimates, and that's where the damage has been this whole game.
This pit is a nasty spot for that.
Absolutely. In goes the hostile takeover, in goes Whales, in goes Spince but Rev's damage is not there to follow up just yet, but now they are. Vesuvius is... I can't tell who he ulted, but Lurka is doing a whole lot of damage to everyone. Lurka brought low, though. Lurka will finally be shut down by J Rind, and that may just be...
That should...
It's definitely gonna be the Baron. I don't think it'll be the game just yet.
It's not game, but that's a serious kind of thing. With the position that Revolution was in, you have one shot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you have one mistake, and this is kind of the mistake.
I think J Rind played that fight really well on the Jinx. Yep. They expected Rev to come over the wall. They knew Rev was gonna fight for that, and she on the Jinx, or I don't know if the player is a he or she, I'll say she because Jinx is a she. She was positioned far enough back that she could avoid that engage and just free fire while Lurka was still trying to kill everyone else in front. The other thing was just kind of the disjointedness of Rev had two go over the wall and the rest couldn't follow the wall. It looked like a good engage, but the rest, they had to walk all the way around the wall before being able to apply the damage. I think that delay made a lot of the difference there.
I think so. Two items on Dan now, but 3 items on the Jinx.
Yeah, it's more like 3.5 on the Jinx. Jinx is
very far
very ahead. Lurka is still ahead as well, but he did just give over
a
got
his
lot
third
of
item,
shutdown.
Which is big. I
and
don't know
that
what
third
he goes
item
for
is
here.
a...
Does he go for Nashers here? I don't know.
I think that's what the new kind of Azir adjustments were for in the more recent patches. They're trying to make him a Nashor's champion again. At least they're trying.
Notes,
I don't know if it's working.
W max. If you read the patch notes, you should W max.
Or at least that's what Riot wants you to do.
That's what they want you to believe. Yes.
Now we've got a bit of a farm off for the next 2 minutes. 2 minutes till Elder Dragon. That's going to be, of course, the fight to decide the game.
7K right now, 7K right now is a huge gap. And a lot of it was just like, I don't know how to explain it, but it's like...
I mean, it was down to about 2.5K until the Baron fight, and then the rest of it has just been the Baron buff.
Yeah.
So, TD slowly sieging here. Haven't taken a whole lot of towers this game. Spincemat ultis onto Pandorum, but doesn't have enough damage to get the kill. That ulti will be back up in time for the Drake fight. Jinx is excited. They're going to look for a second tower mid, I believe. Rev getting some vision just outside the wall.
I think Spincemat needs to move over and engage. Like, you just let Pandorum take this tower and engage on the 3. Engage, like, if you're in this position as Revolution, you engage on the 3 in the middle.
I agree. I think that would be their best chance.
Spreading it out, you just keep bleeding everywhere. But your best chance with your team is to have hard engaged on the 3 in the middle with your numbers. Because if you do that right, they're just done. Like, you've got nothing.
So one inhibitor will go down on this Baron power play. And now we've got 30 seconds until Elder Drake, and that's going to be the game. So the question is, how do you even get into this river if you're Rev?
So it's with an Infernal Drake? Honestly? Yeah, there isn't even a path. You hard shove mid, and then loop around behind with Whales over the pit.
Yeah, do they have time for that, though?
Vesuvius
is waiting in this bush.
And with Lurka's resetting.
He has TP up. I don't think it's going to get here in time. The one ulti's already going down. Already knocked up Trebdine. They get the Fears in the hostile takeover, but they don't have their Azir here. Well, he's here now. Whales is stopwatch in the back line. Dan firing away, but it's just not enough. It's just not enough right now.
You don't have the damage. Your damage wasn't there, so you can't go. Like, I'm not... Yes, it's a good window to go, but the fact is that you're
we get a little bit more fighting. Trebdine will be taken out, as will Denobi, and Lurka is the last one left alive. He will E out, but potentially not for much longer. His ulti will save him, but it will not save the Elder Dragon.
Nope.
from being taken down by
That's
TD.
basically game at this point.
Yeah.
12K or 10K, however you want to look at it.
And Elder.
We've talked about this. Every time we've casted together, I harp on these resets. Getting the Blighting Jewel was not worth it there. Because you need to be there for your team.
Absolutely. I think, and I'm not in the, I can't hear the comms of this game, so I don't know if that's Lurka not letting the team know he's resetting or the team not listening if he's saying it, but I think they just need to know either we all go now or we all wait on the reset.
A lot of the things this game and that has caused issues is that Dan has been able to get, they have been able to get free access to Dan very easily with the way that the team has spread about things. I don't know if they're trying to bait with the Zaya ult trying to jump on with the fiddlesticks. I couldn't say. But like,
I think a lot of Dan's deaths in early mid game have just been him not seeing the Jinx rockets and not even realizing he needed ult. He's died with ult up a few times.
Yep.
I think a lot of and several of those have been Jinx rockets from off screen. And so, first off, a lot of props to JRen for those accurate rockets.
Yep.
And here comes the Ornn ulti for the potential game-ending fight. Trevney will be brought in, and that'll be another kill for TD. Denobi hooked again. Will drop his ultimate now, as will Wales. Gets the slight knockup, but no fear. And TD is just going to slowly siege their way to the end. That's one kill, that's two. And now Lurka is once again the only one left alive. Helpless to watch as TD tears his base to shreds.
Yep.
Stop watching on the fountain steps is never an encouraging sign.
Nope.
Well, unless you're doing like the BM flash in.
This was so much JRen and King Vivi and Vesuvius. Like,
absolutely.
Those three. Well, and we're forgetting about Rex. Rex had so many good moments in this game.
Yeah, Rex is still my MVP of this game because of how well he created those opportunities for everyone.
It was fantastic. TD played this game incredibly well.
Yeah, so TD Dusk is going to go up 1-0 in this series. So if you are Rev going into next game, what sort of potential... I mean, we talked about the things you want to do different strategic. What are there any kind of draft changes you'd want to do?
You need to
or
have
do you think it all comes out in gameplay?
You can't have... And I'm not... I'm trying to think. What would I draft? How would I draft this differently? You need something beefy outside of just your top lane.
Mm-hmm.
Like, a lot of this game, like, Renata gets caught, or Renata gets chunked, or Denobi gets chunked, right? You have nothing, like, you have this beautiful wombo, but you have nothing, no sustaining power, nothing there. So the fact that TD has a, like, higher health composition, you know what it makes it so that you have to, like, chew through that in a way that you're not really able to, because you lose the health battle. So I think if you had... I'm not even saying it like an engaged. Like, I think a Braum would have been absolutely perfectly fine here. I know that Dean doesn't play it, but that's the kind of way that I look. That rather than having the Renata, I think you need something with a little more health.
I can see that. At the same time, I think Rev's draft was good. I think it really just was a gameplay difference. I think the whole game came down to they just got drastically out CS'd in the first 6 to 10 minutes, and then when those early scraps came up, they were behind those early scraps, lost early scraps, and it just kind of slowly snowballed on them. It's a very slow snowball, but to me, it just really just comes down to a CS snowball.
And I think there were a lot of fights that they took that they didn't need to take. They would take fights where they were like, they would go 3-2, right? Like, they'd lose 3 and get 2 back. And a lot of those fights, it was like they were already losing the objective. So you're adding to your snowball even more while you do that.
Absolutely. I think that is something you got to be extra careful about when you're behind. And so, yeah, in the meantime, we will throw to an intermission and be back for the next draft. See you in a minute.